Now, I'm desperately trying to avoid continuing the sort of the cliches of the hills are alive with the sound of music and everything else. But it is coming back to the Gaiety Theatre, and I'm delighted to be joined by Director Tony Finnegan and also Simon Fletcher in the studio. Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon to you.
Now, Tony, when it comes to the work, the sound of music, let's be honest, we if you've not seen the film, if you've not seen the show, or been along to the infamous sing-along,
Yeah.
Sound of Music was the first influence I had with sing-along shows, and that's something else entirely. Where do you start coming up with a new production and a new take on such a well-loved classic?
Well, as long as you don't dictate too much to the cast, and far be it from me to do that, as Simon will tell you, then all you're really doing is relying on the cast to come up with a difference in the production. Of course, sets differ and all that. In fact, Simon has played this for me before in Ireland, so he was working on a very different set than he's working on this time. So that will change things. It changes my approach slightly to things, but I always think if there are two intelligent people reading the same script, then there has to be 75% that we're going to come out the same. So the other 25% is personality. So we've got plenty of personality.
And this is where we come to you, Simon, because obviously, is this the second time you played Maria, or just?
No, I failed the audition for Maria, unfortunately. Yes, so.
Can't imagine why. No, so I presume which character were we playing? That is the top knot character. If
Captain
it's not Maria.
Von Trapp, yes.
Exactly. Edelweiss still going around in your head?
Not so much at the moment. No, I've got other Christmas songs going around my head at the moment for various things around the island. But looking forward to doing it again. I did it over here 15 years ago.
Is it that long?
On the island. And then, as I said, I did
when
it
he was
for...
the right age for it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not quite the right age now, am I? I think the real Von Trapp was 59 when the Second World War broke out.
Yes.
Been doing my research.
We'll say no more. That I can feel there's going to be a fight starting.
So I'm closer to the right age to play it, but not quite old enough.
Likewise from you, though. I mean, how do you? But this is almost something that if we did this as like a full-time profession on the West End, when you're doing it day in day out, the same character. How do you come up with something new that keeps it interesting to you when you come revisiting a character that you've known before?
I think you just look at the script again, time and time again, and just think if there's something slightly different that you can put a different take on it. I think when I did it 15 years ago, and then of course under Tony's directorship when I did it in Ireland, it was different again. Directors there obviously is to help and give you different ideas, but we always sort of have I do something, and if he suggests something, have you thought about doing something slightly different or doing it that way, and then I'll try it and I'll say no, I don't like that, or it doesn't work. Yeah.
I mean, Tony, when the size of this production, because for people who haven't maybe seen it on stage or just think back to the film, there are key moments we all remember,
Yes.
But when it comes to the scale of putting the whole thing together, there is a lot to start putting together. I mean, what stage are we at now?
There is. Well, we're at the stage tomorrow night. I'm staying on tomorrow and on Thursday night. So tomorrow night I'm putting Act 1 together. So that's really just slowly threading it together. Yeah, everybody's making a wild grab for their script. And Act 2 on Thursday. I think just psychologically it's good to have gone through it. It'll not be perfect. It's not exactly the way we want it, but at least it's together that my assistant and the assistant director, music director and choreographer can go over it and over it and over it in January until I come back. I have another session in January and in February. So it's very rough at the moment. It takes a long time.
The girls that are playing the nuns, they won't have seen
any of the other work. So
settings.
It's the first time we're seeing each other's work, really. And also having two sets of children makes it twice as long to set things, and then you have to do everything twice. So I'm actually bringing in one set of kids to observe, and they will then perform on the Thursday and vice versa.
Do you do a lot of rehearsal in separate groups? You mentioned that, like the nuns, Simon. As in, do you go away in separate groups and then Tony has to pull it all together when he's here?
Some nights it's been that way when we've been rehearsing. When Tony's gone back to Ireland and we've been having rehearsals, sometimes we've got the venue where you can have a couple of rooms, then you go and do different things. But mainly they've been rehearsals for the nuns, particularly to go through their music, because it's quite complicated as far as the rest of the show is concerned. There's 4 or 5 part harmonies, and so they need plenty of rehearsals for that. So they've been specially sorted nights that they can do the nuns only, and then nights for the kids. They come in early usually and do their bits and pieces, and then Emily and myself, Emily that plays Maria, will come in and join them and the rest of the cast.
I mean, at this point, I'm listening to all this hard work that you guys are putting into it, and I can see that there's this mountain to climb ahead of you. Oh crikey! Yeah. And I didn't even plan that one. I'm sorry.
Luckily, it's our favourite things to do.
Favourite things to do. There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Done now. Okay.
But when it comes to the advertising of the show, this is where I've got to ask you and maybe intimidate you by saying, what dates is it on and what dates should people put in their diary
I have actually done some research on this myself because
Yes, he asked me. In
I'm
the car on the way
always
up.
asked what then I'm going. I don't know. I leave on the well, it's all about me. But it actually opens on the 14th of February and goes through to the 22nd.
And tickets are available now, I presume, on the
They are,
usual
yes. Yep.
villagaiety.com, 600 555, all that kind of stuff, welcome centre and stuff. Well, I break a leg, guys. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Will you come back in the new year and give us an update on how things are going?
Yeah, no problem.
Bring better weather next time,
I
Tony.
will.
I mean, is this the only reason he's here for a few nights? So we can't get him off now.
That's it. Yes, yeah.
Thanks very much. I feel so welcome.
The hills are alive with the sound of rain at the moment.
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
crikey,
Oh,
we've
go.
got-
Just
Oh,
cut
no.
quickly.